guys, welcome again to Sardinia in a nutshell. As you may or may not know, on the 28th of February is going to be Mardi Gras, which is also Pancakes Day. And although here it doesn't really have a big influence of the daily life of Britons, unless of course you really love pancakes, which means that you'll eat pancakes all day, I guess. Throughout the peninsula we have different festivals, and of course Sardinia, although some people think that it's not actually part of Italy, it's no different. Throughout the island we have different rituals, different ceremonies to celebrate the last days where we could be all happy and jolly before we prepare for Lent and await the whole Passion of Christ and his resurrection. Of course, this is only for people who actually believe in God and Christianity and all this stuff. For anyone else, it's just a day where they can just let loose, I guess. Since there are so many, I thought that maybe instead of covering them all a little, I decided that maybe it was a better idea to actually cover just one and cover it quite in full. So today we are going to talk about Sartiglia, which is actually a medieval joust / equestrian show, which is held on the Sunday before Lent and on Shrove Tuesday, so it really changes whenever Easter Sunday falls. The only thing that doesn't change is where it's held, and that's in the city of Oristano, which is on the north of Sardinia. So what does the Sartiglia entail? As I said, it's a joust, it's an equestrian show that actually calls a lot of people from all over the world, because it's quite a good show, and you know, the riders can show off their abilities on the horses, and it's just kind of magical, really. The origins are not really 100% sure, but some people think that it was a joust that was introduced in Sardinia by the Spaniards when the Giudicati of Sardinia relied on Spain quite a lot. And that makes sense because Sartiglia is a name that sounds quite Spanish. It reminds of the name Sortija, which means ring, and it makes sense because of the fact that the ring is quite an important part of the Sartiglia. Also, there are records that similar justices were held in Spain, and so it really makes sense. Some others, though, think that actually Sartiglia was a very ancient ritual that then was changed throughout the years, and that makes sense as well because of the symbology of the main character, which I'm going into details in just a few moments. It would also make sense because of the meaning behind all of the parts of the Sartiglia. The whole focus of Sartiglia is on the figure of Su Componidori, which means the champion, which is actually not one but two. In fact, the whole Sartiglia is organized by two of the most important guilds of the city of Oristano, which are the Guild of the Carpenters and the Guild of the Farmers. The Farmers Guild will compete on the Sunday, whilst the Carpenters Guild will compete on the Tuesday. None of them is more important than the other. They both are a very central part of the Sartiglia, but I'd say that probably the Sartiglia of the Tuesday is the one that gets more views, simply because it's right on Mardi Gras, so more people will be able to go, and it's just the day that really marks the end of the festivities for Carnival. Shifting again the focus on Su Componidori, why is this so important? Su Componidori is not simply a champion, is not simply the best rider in the guild. He is the person that is going to become a semi-god and represent the gods on earth. So he will have the power to bless the people, and he will also have the power of predicting if the harvest is going to be a good harvest or if we are going to go in a bit of a famine, hopefully the first. The two Componidori are quite similar. They are dressed kind of the same, although the colors change because one of course represents the carpenters and the other one represents the farmers. So the colors of the guilds are going to be different. And also what I think it's a kind of a quite an interesting point is that he wears both feminine and um, male clothing. So he will wear, of course, trousers because it's much easier to ride a horse with trousers, of course. He also will wear loads of ribbons with the colors of the guilds again. And what is most important is that he wears a mask, and this mask is expressionless. It doesn't have any kind of expression, and it's a different color. It's pale, kind of whitish for the carpenters, and it's more reddish brownish color for the farmers to represent the earth, the soil. After the mask is put on, he will actually wear a veil, an actual bride's veil, and on top of it he will have a top hat. So again, the Su Componitore is not a male or a female figure. So Sartiglia is divided into four main steps. We will have the dressing ceremony, and then we have the joust of the star, the parillas, and at the end of it we have the undressing ceremony. So the day starts with the dressing ceremony, where the Su Componitore goes to the HQ of the guild, and he has to step on a table which is called Samesita, and there the Massaiedas, which are the women of the guild, dress the Su Componitore. The whole ceremony is overlooked by Massaia Manna, which is the Grand Matron, and usually is the president of the guild wife, and she is the one that doesn't actually dress Su Componitore, but gives instructions to the other women as how to what to wear, like what they have to put on him, how they have to do it. And it's quite an interesting ceremony to see, because you see these women all dressed in traditional dresses of Oristano, and it's like it's really quite cool. So why Su Componitore does have to be dressed on a table? That's because of an ancient rule, kind of a superstition that says that once the mask of Su Componitore is put on, Su Componitore can't touch the ground with his feet. So his horse will be brought to him. He will mount the horse without touching the actual floor. Also, fun fact, before the mask is put on, the Su Componitore has to take a shot of alcohol. Usually is vernaccia, but I'm not 100% sure what was used before. I think maybe before it was Fileferro, which is like a kind of a vodka, Sardinian vodka, but again, I'm not 100% sure. Before he is allowed to start the joust, he will have to bless both the people inside the HQ and the people outside. So he will have to have these bunch of periwinkles and violets, which is called Sapipia Mayu, which means the child of May, and he will go around blessing everyone. After the whole blessing ceremony is done, Su Componitore and his second in command will cross the swords, and that will mark the start of the joust of the star. Basically, the knights will have to ride on full force throughout a street, and with their swords they will have to catch a star which hangs 3 meters above the ground, and they will have to try and get the star with their sword. So if they do it, they will win a little star that they can pin into their clothes. Otherwise, well, tough. Su Componitore must take the star, because if it doesn't, it just means that we won't have a good harvest. Su Componitore is the only one who can bestow the honor of taking part into the joust. If knight is there and the Su Componitore says no, then he cannot participate, or she, because also women can participate, and there are a few, 2 or 3, not many, but there are a few participating this year. Of course, Su Componitore is the first one to go. After all the knights had a go, he will try his luck again by trying to catch the star sorry, with a big wooden lance, which is called the sustoku, and that's the real important part. So if he gets it, then we will have a good harvest. He can also give sustoku to other people to try, but again, he is the only one who can bestow the honor. After everyone has had their go, Sukomponidori takes Sapipia Mayu again and blesses the whole people, the whole audience watching. And he does so by leaning backwards on his horse. And of course is still accompanied by his two second and third in command. This marks the end of the Joust of the Star and the start of the Parillas, which are held in another street in Oristano, and the Parillas are quite interesting to watch actually. It's when the riders can full on show off their skills on the horses. So what happens in the Parillas is that groups of 3 knights will go again full force down the road, and they will perform these intricate acrobacies which are definitely breathtaking. One of the favorite ones is when 2 people are on their horse, of course, and the third one will go up their shoulders and form a pyramid on the horses while they go very, very fast, and it's scary but amazing to watch. Of course, Sukomponidori is the first one to have a go, but he doesn't perform any acrobacies. He just goes on full power with the horses and is second and third in command. And after he has gone, the others can have a go as well. And again, he is also the last one to perform. He does so by going again full on force on their horses with his second and third in command. And at that point, he has to bless the audience again, and with again the Sapipia Mayu. So what happens is he will have to lean backwards again, and while blessing the audience, whilst his second and third in command get the reins of the horse, and we have to kind of direct the horse themselves without having the help of Sukomponidori, which is quite scary to watch, but after all the acrobacies it's not even as scary. That's the end of the day, and Sukomponidori has to come back to the HQ where the undressing ceremony is performed. So when everything is being removed, technically becomes a human again, and so that's when his guild can applaud him and they can celebrate. Usually the whole day ends with some performances by groups of people dancing traditional Sardinian dance, which is amazing, by the way. I used to be in one of those groups and it was super cool. And the celebration will go on not all night, but until quite late. The 2 Componidori this year will be Sergio Letta for the Guild of the Farmers Guild, and Giuseppe Sedda for the Carpenters Guild. In total there will be 120 knights that hopefully will perform, or depending on how Sukomponidori is feeling. The event has tickets and they're not too expensive. They range, of course there's a price range between 10 euros and 40 euros, depending on where you want to sit and which part of the day you want to watch. The only part of the day that is private is the dressing and undressing ceremony, which is broadcasted, but it's not. It's really not for everyone to go in and see. It's really a private matter for the family of Sukomponidori and his guild. Also, the good news is that the whole event is broadcasted on the internet in various websites. I will leave all the links down in the description box. So on the day of either the 26th or the 28th, if you want to go and have a look, you don't have to watch it all, of course, but if you want to go and have a look, you can. Also, I am trying to arrange something which is related to this video and Sartiglia, but I'm not 100% sure I will be able to do it yet, so stay tuned, because if I will be able to do it, I will, and I will let you know as soon as possible on the channel, so keep your eyes open. The last thing I would like to ask you is a little opinion, really. Some weeks ago, I've been in Sardinia for just 2 days, and I've tried, and I want to underline tried, to have a little vlog while I was there. It didn't work out as well as I would have liked to, because it has rained the whole 2 days that I was there, so I couldn't really go to the seaside or even just for a little filming session. And also it was my granddad's 88th birthday, so I I filmed as much as I could, but it's still quite family orientated, a bit of a kind of like a day in the life more than an amazing vlog on the beauties of Sardinia. I am quite in two minds as if I should put it out, so if you would still like to watch it, do let me know in the comments below, and I will try to put it on if I can, hopefully soon. And yeah, because I'm really not 100% sure about that, but if you are interested, why not? So this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to give it a thumbs down, please don't give me a thumbs down. If you would like to give it a thumbs up, please do. If you would like to share it with your friends, please do. And if you would like to comment and subscribe, please do. And again, please let me know about the vlog and keep your eyes open for the announcement, hopefully later in the week. I'll see you next time. Anzi biri! Also, I don't know if you noticed, but equestrian theme here. Yeah!